East of Asia, as far east as you can go, is a land the ancients called Nippon, the origin of the sun. It's a land of enigmas and secrets. An ancient world whose progressive ideas shape all our tomorrows. A land of dramatic contrasts, encircled by the sea, cut off from the ordinary. This unique world is ruled by the seasons. Through the lives of ordinary people, we uncover the secrets of this remarkable nation. Through their eyes, we reveal the soul of Japan. In the far, far east of Asia lies an archipelago of more than 3,000 islands, formed according to myth from the tears of a goddess. Every island in this gorgeous necklace of nature is different. In the northernmost island of Hokkaido, the mountains must endure icy Siberian winds. 3,000 kilometers to the south are the golden sands and coral reefs of the subtropical Okinawa Islands. Almost 80% of Japan is mountainous and forested. This uninhabitable terrain means 80% of Japan's people live in coastal areas. As the population has grown, so have the cities. Tokyo, the capital. 35 million people live and work here. It's the largest metropolitan area in the world. Getting this vast sea of commuters to and from work requires a vast and efficient transport network. 50,000 taxis, and an urban railway system that moves 8 million people a day. The Shinkansen bullet trains run so precisely that over a year, their timetable slips by just 36 seconds. But the most surprising commuter route is by air. The domestic flight from Sapporo to Tokyo is the busiest air route in the world, carrying almost 10 million commuters a year. Organizing so many passengers requires futuristic thinking. Instead of old-fashioned tickets, why not use your mobile phone? Masters of new technology, the Japanese also share a deep connection with the natural world. But the country's beauty is deceptive. Japan runs along the Pacific Ring of Fire. This dangerous intersection of 5 tectonic plates triggers more than 1,000 earthquakes a year. There are 186 volcanoes, a third of them still active today, including the mightiest of them all, Mount Fuji. The gateway between Earth and heaven. Dependent on this fickle and often violent nature, the Japanese have developed a unique relationship with the seasons, whose guidance they follow and whose rhythms they respect. Each season has its own symbolic meaning, marking the different stages of life. Spring is the beginning, a time of renewal and rebirth. 500 kilometers west of Tokyo is the ancient city of Kyoto. Until 1868, Kyoto was the capital of Japan and is still considered Japan's cultural heart. Kyoto is also the only place in the world where you can find the most mysterious and enigmatic of professions, the geisha. Contrary to Western notions, the geisha are artists skilled in traditional instruments, singing, and dancing. Skills that take years, even decades of unstinting dedication. The geisha's traditional arts are performed behind closed doors. Entry is strictly by personal invitation. In the Miyagawa-cho geisha district of Kyoto, 17-year-old Mary is learning all about the rites and rituals of this hidden world. Mary was taken on 2 weeks ago by the Komaya Tea House. Her training will last 5 years. Mary has wanted to be a geisha since she was 14 years old and has been trying to become a trainee for the last 2 years.
The reason I want to become a geisha is because it was my mother's dream to be a geisha, but I also want to do it for myself. I want to entertain and give joy to lots of people. If and when I finally become a geisha, I want to be an intelligent one, able to anticipate what needs to be done in any situation. Hopefully, that would be my job for life.
Most young girls enter a geisha house when they're 15 years old. Mary is already 2 years older than the other trainees, and as the last to join, finds herself at the bottom of a strict and ancient hierarchy.
At the top is the Okazan, the mother of the house. Then there are the elder sisters, the geisha and the maiko. Then come the other trainees, Hikari and Momo. Then finally there's me at the bottom.
In a year's time, Mary may be promoted to the level of maiko, the next step to becoming a geisha.
I have to be on standby 24 hours a day. I haven't got much time to rest. As well as doing my usual chores like the laundry or cleaning the bathroom, I also have to go on errands. I have so many chores. There are times when it gets too much.
Mary is also finding it hard to meet the expectations of her seniors.
If I greet the same elder sister over and over again, they get angry with me. I keep getting told off, and that can get me down.
For a modern girl, such traditional training is a challenge. To add to her difficulties, the geisha house insists on limited contact with families, which is proving hard to bear.
The first week, all I could think about was my family. Every day I remember them and I cry. Now I don't miss them as desperately. But when I think of them, I start crying again.
Many young girls who start this apprenticeship don't finish. And Mary is finding out why. Does she really have the determination to pursue her dream? In Tokyo's downtown district of Shibuya, two girls of Mary's age lead a very different lifestyle. Saiko and Yuko are typical Tokyo schoolgirls. They love their mobile phones, they love fashion, and they love shopping. But most of all, they love the freedom of being schoolgirls. Saiko and Yuko's cravings for new fads have caught the attention of Japan's marketing executives looking to predict new trends. Sell to one girl in Shibuya today, goes the marketing man's mantra. And by tomorrow, you've sold to every girl in Japan. As the world becomes increasingly taken with Japanese pop culture, these schoolgirls have become global trendsetters. Saiko and Yuko have been hired to test new products. The latest is a new version of the photo booth. Instead of taking photos, it makes videos, which the girls can download onto their phones and send to their friends. The girls seem to like the new video booth. And if Saiko and Yuko like it, chances are everyone else will too. In Japan, the views of a couple of schoolgirls can influence the rest of the world. Up in the mountains, spring has turned to summer. It's the season of maturity and growing up, when Japan's vulnerable nature bursts spectacularly into life. Summer is also the season of festivals. To the Japanese, festivals are a link between humans and the gods. Many have their origins in the native religion, Shinto, and mark stages in the rice-growing cycle. Summer festivals were created to snap people out of a lethargy brought on by the heat of the summer, and to prepare them for the hard work of the harvest. At the Kanto Festival in Akita, every lantern balanced 20 feet high represents a grain of rice. It's just one of hundreds of colorful processions thanking the gods for their generosity. Far to the south, at the other end of Japan, stretches a chain of islands where a slower pace of life keeps people cool. This remote subtropical paradise provides a vivid contrast to the north. Pristine beaches surrounded by coral reefs. Many islands remain uninhabited, and some even have their own rainforests, more like the Amazon than the Japan most people know. At the southern end of this string of islands lies Yonaguni. It is closer to Taiwan than the rest of Japan. Yonaguni was once part of a separate kingdom with its own language, which some islanders still speak today. And it hides a 10,000-year-old secret discovered beneath the sea. The man who discovered this mystery was dive master Kihachiro Aratake. Aratake's underwater discovery is so remarkable it threatens to rewrite the history of the world. It all started on a dive trip to search for hammerhead sharks.
While I was looking around, I saw something on the seabed that I had never seen before in all the time I have been diving. It had a very unique topography. I was so intrigued. As the boat anchored, dived in to take a closer look.
As Aratake rose up over this unusual landscape, a 240-foot-long structure appeared in front of him with all the characteristics of the pyramids of Egypt or the ancient Inca city of Machu Picchu. It had streets, steps, and monuments. A stone monolith severed down the middle had strange markings carved into its face, like some form of early writing. As he explored the site, it was like he had discovered the ruins of a lost civilization.
Since the discovery of the underwater ruins, there have been numerous debates amongst the experts and many books and papers written. Scientists from Nagoya University performed irradiation dating on the surface of the monuments. They concluded that 10,000 years ago, they were actually on the land.
Incredibly, this would mean that the building predates the pyramids by 4,000 years. In fact, it would predate any known Stone Age civilization, making this the oldest building in the world. In the northernmost island of Hokkaido, Japan's oldest surviving natives, the Ainu, have a history going back 10,000 years. Ainu beliefs and traditions have influenced modern Japan, especially its religion. The Ainu believe all natural things, such as trees, animals, and even stones, are inhabited by spirits or gods. From these animistic roots came Japan's native religion, Shinto. The Japanese attitude to religion, though, can leave outsiders confused. Most Japanese incorporate aspects of both Shinto and Buddhism into their daily lives. Buddhism came to Japan in the 6th century, long after Shinto. But the Japanese have always been able to combine the new with the old. While Shinto is celebrated at colorful festivals, it is Buddhism that the Japanese turn to in times of crisis, such as illness or death. On the surface, the Japanese don't appear deeply religious, but their spiritual beliefs have a surprising influence on modern society. Professor Hiroshi Ishiguro is Japan's foremost android scientist, and Geminoid HI-1 is Japan's foremost android. Inspired by Japan's unique spiritual beliefs, they are blurring the boundaries between humans and robots.
It's a question of where the soul is. Japanese people have always been told the soul can exist in everything and anything. So we don't have any problem with the idea that a robot too has a soul. We don't make much distinction between humans and robots. Japan is a very homogeneous, insular, island nation, and we have been making things our own way for a long time.
Creating a perfect copy of himself has proved useful to Professor Ishiguro in unexpected ways.
Having developed this robot, we discovered many interesting things. This robot is good enough to recreate the sense of human presence. For instance, it can give lectures to students or attend a meeting on my behalf. At the moment, we are at the Research Institute in Kyoto, but usually I work at Osaka University. If I remote control my android from Osaka, I don't have to come to Kyoto myself. Or I can even send it to America or Britain to attend a conference. The important thing is, my presence is there.
Robotics has become one of the key industries in Japan, helping to make its economy the second largest in the world. And Japan leads the way in developing humanoid robots. Soon, robots like this may be working as office receptionists, security guards, or looking after Japan's aging population. But the next generation of robots aren't being designed in a lab. They're being built at home, and they're being built for battle. This is the Robo-1 competition. Where hundreds of homemade fighting machines battle it out to be named the best fighting robot in Japan. It's a male-dominated sport. But a shared passion for robot fighting has taken one family to the finals. The Sumis. The Sumi family live in the suburbs of Tokyo. Arina is a 12-year-old schoolgirl. Her father, Kazuhiro, is an engineer, and mother, Nanako, a housewife. Together, they are one of the most formidable fighting families in Robo 1. Their house is a shrine to robots. Kazuhiro builds them. Nanako and Arina operate them.
Remember when we went to the Toyota studio and fought against each other in a third and fourth place match? And I beat you. I remember feeling pleased because I hadn't beaten you in a long time.
Tomorrow is the biggest day in their calendar. It's the All Japan Robo 1 Championships, and the Sumis are nervous. They're watching old matches to help improve their chances.
It's painful to watch you lose. It's so sad.
Well into the night, Kazuhiro is working on Arina's robot, while Nanako and Arina put the finishing touches to the unique costume Nanako hopes will make her robot stand out from the rest. Nearly 200 contestants from all over Japan have come to compete. They range from amateur enthusiasts to electronics and auto technicians. This year, the judges want to see more than fighting. They want to know what else the robots can do. Let the games begin. The new rule has encouraged some unusual performances. Arina's blue robot is socking it to them. And her story about it cleaning a house, then catching a thief, goes down well with the crowd. Now it's Nanako's turn. Her silver robot does well in its fights, but Nanako has saved the best till last. Her robot's special outfit will surely impress the judges. But the glittering robot's success is short-lived. A skipping routine goes badly wrong. Have Arina and Nanako done enough to earn a place on the podium? Arina is called. She's in the final. But what about Nanako? There's only one place to go. Nanako has given up all hope. As the summer turns to autumn, Japan changes color. Many Japanese travel across the country to enjoy the autumn leaves. It's considered the most beautiful time of year. In Kyoto, in the autumn, everyone's preparing for the annual dance festival. It's every geisha's dream to take part. All the different districts participate, rehearsing for weeks. The word geisha means artist. Their history goes back to the 18th century when, in the pleasure districts of Kyoto, the original geisha were men. Since joining the Komaya Geisha House in the spring, Mary has graduated to serving drinks to customers. And the geisha and Maiko's skills as dancers have earned them a place in their district's dance festival. For now, it is just the dance director they have to impress. But on the night of the show, all Kyoto's elite will be there to watch. Like the secret world of the geisha, in Japan, it is often what is hidden that is considered the most beautiful. Yoshihiro Nakano knows more about this than anyone. He is more famously known as Horiyoshi III, and he's one of the greatest tattoo artists in the world.
In the Oriental arts, we say, the more something hides, the more beautiful it becomes. The fact that you only see it on very special occasions gives it more impact. It's more attractive and shocking when unveiled. I think that's part of our traditional culture, and without knowing it, the Japanese appreciate that sense of beauty.
Horiyoshi has tattooed rock stars and Yakuza gangsters, all with a 45-needle stick he designed himself. Historically, tattoos were outlawed, with one unusual exception.
Firemen were well known for their tattoos, because theirs was the only profession officially allowed to have them. Normally, tattooing was illegal, particularly for those with jobs that involved a public duty like rescuing people. But firemen were overlooked as an exception. If they died in a fire, the tattoo would help people identify their body.
Horiyoshi has spent a lifetime studying the traditional themes and motifs and given them his own modern signature. Before Horiyoshi, it used to be totally unacceptable to mix the different seasons. Autumn is not just a season. It's a state of being. With an average life expectancy of 79, Japanese men are the second longest living on the planet. But it's Japan's women that are outliving us all, reaching an average age of 86. On the main island of Honshu in the small coastal town of Toba, a 2,000-year-old tradition is being kept alive by a group of women who work well into their 80s. At 75 years old, Reiko Nomura is an ama diver. The ama dive for shellfish to sell at market. Ama means sea person.
I finished school when I was 15, I think. I've been an ama diver ever since. So it's 60 years now. I feel young though. Yes, I'll keep going till I'm 80.
Ama divers used to harvest pearls and made good money from it. But pearl farms have taken away that trade.
I do have concerns about the future. The girls of my granddaughter's generation are not interested in becoming ama divers. The number of ama divers will decrease. But the fact that there are no ama divers in their 20s makes me sad.
With no new recruits, there is a chance these mermaids will be the last. The traditional clothing of the ama women is thought to protect them from sharks, which they believe don't like the color white. A dive can yield anything from sea urchin and scallops to one of the most prized of Japanese delicacies, abalone. Whatever is not sold at market is taken back to their hut and cooked on an open fire. This is a maritime feast these sea women never tire of. As modern Japan races into the future, this 2,000-year-old tradition is in real danger of being lost. But Japan has a way of preserving its traditions. And if these women are anything to go by, theirs will be around for quite a while. The first snow of winter falls on Japan's mountains. Mount Fuji's snow-capped beauty hides its darker side. In Japan, volcanic eruptions and earthquakes are a constant danger. 10% of all the earthquakes in the world happen here. But the Japanese don't live in fear. They appreciate and respect what their islands offer. Bathing in hot springs, or boiling eggs in the sulfuric steam spilling from the side of a volcano. In the mountains, it's not just humans that celebrate the pleasures of these dangerously volcanic islands. No other monkey lives as far north as the Japanese snow monkey. They have adapted to Japan's seasonal changes. In winter, growing a thick coat for insulation against biting temperatures that reach 5 below zero. In Japan, the most highly prized fish of all is the bluefin tuna, which can be found in the cold, hazardous straits between the islands of Hokkaido and Honshu. And this is where tuna fisherman Osamu Yamazaki tries his luck. For most of the year, Yamazaki ekes out a living from squid fishing. But in winter, he uses the squid as bait to catch tuna. The rewards can be like winning the lottery. In 2006, the price of a single tuna reached $200,000, Yamazaki is chasing that dream. This remote outpost is the northernmost tip of the main island of Honshu. And perched here is the fishing town of Oma. At this time of year, Yamazaki barely sees his family. He works long hours to earn a full year's income in the few short months the tuna are off Oma's shores. He prays to the gods of the sea that they may help him. Finding the tuna can take days, even weeks. Then you still need to catch it.
You have to involve your whole body in the fight against a tuna. You either catch the fish or get driven to the ground. Sometimes you keep on fighting for 4 or 5 hours, only to end up empty-handed.
Recently, Yamazaki went a whole season without getting one, pushing him to the edge of bankruptcy. Then he got lucky. He caught 2 in a week and made $80,000. But if he doesn't catch any this year, he may have to give up fishing. With all this at stake, Yamazaki still fishes the old-fashioned way, on a single line. Avoiding the use of nets reduces his chances of catching tuna, but it upholds tradition. Suddenly, all the tuna boats move off together like a pack of hungry predators. The sonar shows a school of thousands of tuna. Finding them is one thing, keeping up with them another. Tuna can accelerate faster than a sports car, and they're clever, cunning, changing directions at 80 kilometers per hour. Yamazaki's got a bite. He tries to tire it out. It's a battle of wills. The tuna has energy and the run of the open sea. Yamazaki has experience and skill.
Once tuna fish bite the hook, they literally fly away at tremendous speeds. You need to have the line coiled around your arm. I myself once had the fingers nearly chopped off when I twisted the line around them.
The tuna is now directly under the boat, trying to snap the line. But it's exhausted. The fight is over. At 172 kilos, it's a good catch, but Yamazaki won't know until the next morning how much it will fetch at market. He keeps his heart and fin for luck. Then it's back to the boat, back to sea. For the tuna too, the journey has only just begun. In 24 hours, it will be served up as sushi. But first, it must find a buyer in the largest fish market in the world. At Tokyo's Tsukiji market, 2,500 tons of fish come and go every day, attracting 40,000 buyers. 10% of all the fish caught in the world ends up in Japan. The average Japanese eats the equivalent of their own body weight in seafood a year. As the wholesalers examine the fish, Yamazaki waits anxiously to learn how much his sold for. Back at Tsukiji Market, the frantic bidding begins. Yamazaki is getting impatient. The call comes in at last. The tuna sold for $8,000. Not bad for one day's work. In Kyoto, the day of the dance festival has arrived and everyone is anxious. At the Komaya Geisha house, trainee Mary is helping her elder sisters get ready. Mary has given up the freedoms other teenagers take for granted to follow her dream. Learning the discipline needed to be a geisha has been a challenge.
Girls of my age have mobile phones and in their free time go out with their friends. But I have to stay inside the house. I hardly go out, so I can't have fun.
At the tea house, the geisha and Maiko are excited. They have both been chosen to perform in the annual dance. For Mary and the other trainees, the performance is a chance to escape their chores. There used to be over 1,000 geisha in Kyoto. Now there are around 80 trainees. Mary is worried. She has a big decision to make. Should she give up now or continue with her dream of becoming a geisha?
In the last dance, the geisha's silver fans glittered and looked so gorgeous. Their dancing was perfectly synchronized and their faces were so lively. I will have to practice really hard, but it will be worth putting up with the hardship. I will keep going and hopefully be able to dance like my big sisters. I know there'll be a bumpy road ahead, but overcoming the hardships will make life more beautiful. I will be strong and go through the tough times so that I can dance on the stage and be beautiful.
Seeing the skills and beauty a geisha can command has renewed Mary's commitment to these old customs and traditions.
Rather than being a modern girl, I want to be an old-fashioned and gentle geisha.
Mary has chosen to bridge the past and the future. It's the Japanese way. In the land of the rising sun, the young can forge whatever future they desire, learning from the elderly who celebrate their past with dignity and respect. It's a land of dreams and opportunity, embracing progress while holding on to traditional values. It's a nation always open to discovery, masters of the future and guardians of the past.